Hi, good afternoon everyone. Welcome po sa ating first breakout session, no. So, welcome and thank you for being here today. I was appointed to discuss po yung updates on our new Government Procurement Act or yung Republic Act number 12009. I'm here on behalf of Deputy Executive Director Maria Jonesha Rivera Guillermo. In her absence po, ako po yung mag-represent ng mga updates po natin. So, again, it is my pleasure to welcome you all here today in this providing you yung mga critical updates on the NGPA. Public procurement is the cornerstone po of government service delivery. And it plays an essential role in ensuring that public resources are utilized efficiently, transparently, and in the best practices of our citizens. Yung NGPA po, it brings much needed modernization to our procurement processes. It is a step that promises to make public spending not only more efficient, but also more inclusive, transparent, and accountable. So, just to give you a brief background on what transpired po dito sa ating NGPA. In 2019, the GPPB through our office received requests to amend the RA 9184 due to identified gaps and challenges po natin. So with the technical assistance po of our World Bank friends and yung mga from Asian Development Bank, we conducted an assessment since 2019 to 2021 using the methodology of assessment of procurement system tool. Next slide, please. Since last January 2022, the TSO received the World Bank's initial findings, and we have identified yung mga key areas for improvement. Ito po yun, yung rules of participation, methods of procurement, support to value for money, sustainable public procurement, yung pinaka-important po, yung professionalization, the e-procurement system, and a complaint review mechanism. Next slide, please. Sa background po nung what has transpired after a sectoral cabinet meeting with our mahal na president na si Bongbong Marcos in 2003, during the third LEDAC meeting in September 2023, our colleagues from the DBM and the Procurement Service presented the proposed amendments aimed at making the government procurement more strategic rather than purely transactional. This resulted in the drafting of the administrative bill, which was submitted to the House of Representatives and the Senate last October 2023. After a series of consultations with the House of Committee on the Revision of Laws that approved House Bill 9648, amending RA 9184 in November 2023, the House of Representatives then endorsed the amended substitute bill to the Senate in December 2023. Nung last February 2024 po, the Senate Committee on Finance held technical working groups, hearings, and proposed amendments to RA 9184. So by May 21, 2024, Senate Bill number 2593 was passed, establishing po the new Government Procurement Act, which was unanimously approved during the third reading after a series of plenary hearings. Sige, next slide. Next slide. Ito po. Last July 20, 2024, RA 12009 also known as the NGPA, was signed and took effect on August 13, 2024. RA 12009 introduces substantial changes po sa ating law. One, sige, next slide. It enhanced the principles of transparency. The procurement process emphasized open contracting practices, ensuring access to all related information. What was the reason behind this po? When stakeholders can see and understand how the procurement process and decisions are made, trust in the procurement system is reinforced, meaning open access to procurement information to all levels, allowing fair competition, and this will prevent corruption and enforce public trust. Next po. The law also improved the principle of competitiveness. What was the reason po behind this? In improving yung competitiveness. It will reduce yung risk of monopolies and ensuring that no single entity dominates the market.
So while waiting po for the other participants,
It promotes equal opportunities for all businesses.
sure you're
Yan na po, encouraging yung mga SMEs natin to
consultation
compete with larger
workshops,
corporations
online, when
and to attract more bidders,
government
improve
policy,
project quality,
support
and
business,
enhance cost
and allow
effectiveness.
everyone for participating in this workshop. I
Next,
also want to thank, of course, our
it
partners
increases the
from
principle of efficiency.
who flew all the way from the UK to
Ano
be
po yung
with
reason
us
behind this?
today and for the other
The NGPA
participants.
uses a
The
centralized
recipe
procurement system,
helping us
offering a single platform to manage all procurement activities.
that we had.
This will enhance yung coordination among bidders, stakeholders,
Said whatever
will reduce delays, lower administrative costs, and improve the overall efficiency of the procurement process.
What do I mean by that? And I think that's why we're here.
Next, introduction po sa principle ng governing principles of our government procurement is the principle of proportionality. Next slide, please.
So don't feel like
This is a new principle that is introduced to ensure the conditions and requirements ng procurement
when
projects
we start with that
corresponds to
mindset,
the needs and objectives of procuring entities.
so we
Principle of
have to
proportionality.
we need to think
This
about
will promote inclusivity by setting reasonable requirements, ensuring that more suppliers, including SMEs, to bid. This will also ensure yung efficient resource allocation, meeting the PE's actual needs without imposing burdensome requirements that would deter bidder participation.
there are a lot of
Next,
buzzwords mentioned earlier. Enabling environment.
nasa RA 9184 po din po ito, but the NGPA enhanced the principle of accountability. This is the principle to ensure that the conditions and requirements procurement projects corresponds to the needs and objectives again of the PE.
Regardless of what you think. And in fact,
What was the reason behind this po of enhancing the principle of accountability? It is to prevent corruption and fraud. The NGPA introduces new sanctions for public officers and private entities to ensure misconduct is properly addressed. Next, the principle of participatory procurement is a new principle po in the NGPA. By involving stakeholders in the procurement process, PEs can benefit from diverse input and expertise, offering opportunity for knowledge sharing and capacity building.
And help us further understand what inclusiveness means for you.
Next.
Especially since this is a policy office.
I believe this is the most important po sa ating NGPA.
That would be
This scattered all over the provisions of our law. The principle of sustainability in this new principle focuses on the sustainable procurement practices, considering the entire life cycle of projects, and considers the benefits to society and the economy, while ensuring minimal impact to the environment and inclusivity in procurement.
To Beth? Should I give it to Beth?
This will highlight
Again,
po yung value for money
very
principle in procurement decisions of
if you
PEs.
feel that you're out of English, because sometimes I feel that also, you can always, say it in
So
the
this
language
new
of
principle
Canada.
aims to incorporate yung mga sustainable practices po natin
So
that will
thank you very much so
enhance
much.
efficiency, reduction of waste,
Thank you so much, Beth.
to lower operational costs, yung the entire project life cycle, yung
So,
environmental
introduce
impact,
yourself.
ensuring that we adopt a more holistic approach that includes economic factors.
And I had the pleasure of working with Edie Wing.
Next slide.
April.
Principle of professionalism. This is a new principle po. This seeks to institutionalize the establishment of qualification standards of our procurement professionals.
This focus group.
We will set a certification program and licensing of procurement professionals, including the development of a code of ethics that will set direction for procurement practitioners.
But the key thing is,
next slide, please.
You
Professionalism.
The most in the session.
Professionalism seeks to institutionalize formal training and professional development programs to ensure procurement practitioners receive the most consistent, high-quality education. This professionalization leads to better procurement outcomes by ensuring that activities are managed by experts, procurement professionals. Currently, this will be a project with our mga consultants po namin. Will help establish this professionalization program of the government.
And then we're going to come back together and kind of have a summary, conclusions, and then next steps.
Okay, next slide.
So before I
strategic procurement planning po, ito po yung minention ko kanina. Procurement planning is seek to be linked with the budgeting process, ensuring that the funds are available and allocated appropriately for planned procurement.
I'm Daryl, and
Conducting of market scoping to understand the supply market, yung pricing trends, and availability of goods and services.
Good afternoon.
Sige, next slide, please. Sorry.
One of the for today's session.
Why? Kaya po yung in-incorporate yung principle of strategic procurement planning because we seek to institutionalize yung proper planning and preparation to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of procurement processes that will ensure again value for money.
Hello, good
Next slide,
afternoon.
please. Fit for purpose approach. This is a procurement strategy that it is tailored to the specific needs ng PE.
So,
The nature of goods, services, and infrastructure being procured.
So, you might be
Full life cycle consideration.
there's a picture.
This will take into account yung all stages of procurement project from the initial planning, acquisition, from use, maintenance, and disposal.
When I'm not doing
Of course, including yung environmental considerations po natin in the procurement process to ensure that the project supports sustainable practices and minimizes yung negative environmental impacts.
It's that every voice counts, no matter how small you are.
You will notice po, lagi naman mentioned yung principle ng value for money. What is the meaning of this?
And so, inclusive
It means yung optimal use of resources to achieve the best possible outcomes in terms of quality, cost, and efficiency over the entire life cycle of the product.
Medium enterprises. And so
Next,
we want from every
procurement strategy is pooled procurement. Procuring entities are encouraged to pool their procurement needs as a collaborative strategy in purchasing goods
We respect
This will result in lower prices due to bulk purchasing of PE, leading to cost savings.
and need to cultivate a warm atmosphere so that you feel
Next strategy is
that you're participating.
renewal of regular and recurring services.
To do something about
Dati po wala siya sa
those
natin.
are those
Ngayon, it is incorporated in the law.
those will be watching.
These are services that are needed on a consistent, ongoing basis, yung paulit-ulit
In a
recurring.
minute, Daryl,
Examples includes yung maintenance services, yung janitorial services, and IT
and
support.
again,
The PE is allowed to consider renewing these services rather than undergoing completely new procurement
we're talking
service
about a diversity
each time.
of enterprises. And so
Next procurement strategy is the design and build scheme for infrastructure projects.
but also
It's a
we're gonna
procurement
use
strategy wherein the PE
energize
has the
the
option to
process.
hire a single contractor to handle both the design and construction aspect of the infrastructure project.
We're gonna look
Unlike
at
before
what
po,
challenges
yung traditional approach natin,
do
where the designer and construction are undertaken
either
separately.
owners
Ngayon po,
of
iisa na lang siya. Dapat
enterprises,
iisa na lang siya.
representatives of enterprises, perhaps you represent an
Next,
association.
yung warehousing and inventory system.
Development partner, I know we have some in the room.
This will ensure that
We want to
decision
hear
making in
what your
planning,
experiences are,
requirement for
what we're
goods,
going
PEs may adopt a system of warehousing and cloud-based inventory, which is seen to be effective for storing and tracking of
We're
procurement
kind of
goods.
grouped the procurement journey into 4 steps. And so those are the 4
Next slide,
tables.
please.
Under these 4
Next slide.
headings.
Yan, yung sustainable public
Just to
procurement again.
focus the conversation.
Our law gives more emphasis on this, on the sustainability. Yan, yung during the planning stage, the procurement process.
That way, I think we're going to do
Again,
world
minimal cost impact. Po, skip
so
na
lovely.
natin.
Stick everything on them.
Ito po,
So-
yung pinaka-important
So
is the incorporation of disposal
Stage.
as part of the procurement process.
And then we as a group, as
The
we
NGPA
finish,
introduced that PEs need to consider in embedding in its bidding requirements
during
yung disposal
the
of properties at
have
the end of their
opportunity
useful
to
life.
contribute
Next slide,
to
please.
each step. But you might start at a different
Yeah.
stage.
Next slide.
That. Now, those 4 categories
Next slide.
cover what we think
Yeah.
is most of the procurement.
Our law po outlines the measures for PE to consider in developing its requirements in the disposal process of the procurement. One, yan po yung mga ano natin, property rehabilitation, condemnation or destruction, transfer to other agencies, barter, donation, return to supplier, vendor, trade-in, sale to the government officials or employees, public auction, negotiated sale, and so on.
IRRs are developed and the guidance material that's
Sige, next slide, please.
implemented
Next slide.
the IRRs in a meaningful way. If you think
Tama
that you
pa.
don't have an opportunity with the way
Use of
the
annual
steps
procurement plan,
journey are
APP.
laid out,
The NGPA gives more emphasis
any point
to
during
the rule
session,
that no government procurement shall be undertaken
you don't
unless
get
it is in accordance with the APP or indicative APP.
feel like you've missed the
Ano po yung
opportunity
rationale natin behind this?
to make sure that there aren't any burning.
Because the APP serves as a strategic planning tool for the government procurement activities. No? It ensures that procurement initiatives are aligned with the objectives and priorities of the procuring entity.
You are not the whole, but we'll have some free time. But what we would like you to do is
Ito po, one of
during
the
that offering
main thrust ng administration po natin is the electronic government procurement.
you're looking down at the table.
Next slide,
But
please.
it's really useful to see what other
The NGPA includes features in the full implementation
with Meta.
of our electronic
So
government
just give you a
procurement
chance to circulate
or the EGP.
spreadsheets, have a look
It
at
means yung
what
complete
else is in-
digitalization and automation of the procurement processes.
something you
Why? Because the law aims to streamline procurement process to strengthen the PhilJEPs,
So we're going to ask you to rank
providing a centralized electronic portal, electronic
So
payment,
we're gonna have a little
interconnectivity between government agencies.
we are improvising here because we thought
Ano
we'd
po
have,
ba ibig
thought
sabihin
we'll
ng
have some
centralized electronic portal? It's the establishment of an integrated system that will enhance po yung operational efficiency.
procurement
And more
work
importantly,
in the interest.
the law seeks to reduce yung corruption.
We're gonna dig a bit deeper and
Kasi,
try and understand the
siyempre kung
rules of some
mas madali na po i-trace kung our transactions are provided
there's
yung
challenges in
electronically na
order
siya.
to make procurement inclusive and work
Yan,
with
electronic payment.
the diversity of suppliers.
Well, the law deems it more appropriate kasi mas in the advent of our digital transformation, electronic payments are more faster and more secure and more efficient.
Voted for challenges on
And it provides you know,
comes out
a proper audit trail.
time to look at
System of interconnectivity. Our law empowers the GPPB to establish rules for interconnecting government databases
guide
for public procurement.
we want to hear from you. So it's not
This interconnectivity
at all, but there are
processes seeks to facilitate seamless communication and data sharing between government agencies. Particularly, this will enable yung easy verification of permits, mga licenses from local government units, which is essential po yun dun sa ating post qualification.
energizer. I just wanted to, that was a brief run through what we're going to do now.
Next,
Next
next slide please. Procurement of data analytics. Is a new provision po sa law. Next slide please.
So
This provision was introduced in the law, highlighting the importance of data analytics. It will enhance procurement process. So the PhilJEPs is required to submit to the GPPBTSO an annual procurement reports related to procurement processes. Why? Because this seeks to support yung mga PEs po natin in
Okay, thank you so much for
strategic
that,
planning.
Miss Beth. So once
And
again,
it
good
will help
afternoon,
yung mga
everyone.
oversight bodies
I'm
po natin
Daryl, and
in
forgive me for because I'm a bit
Typical
nervous.
this.
This is my first time facilitating a focus group
in
discussion,
prevention
and I
yung
hope
mga oversight bodies po natin in the prevention of
my job
fraud,
here will be
mga
successful as
non-competitive
this kind of program we're
practices.
running right now. So before we proceed to our
More so yung
discussion,
to encourage
have a
yung public
icebreaker
awareness.
first.
Public
These
awareness
are
po natin in monitoring
mechanics for our icebreaker.
government procurement. More importantly, for greater transparency and accountability.
So our icebreaker is called the line up game. So what we're going to do is just to line up.
Next slide, please.
Okay, nothing more, nothing less. Just to
Nasa
line up.
ano
So
tayo?
what are the mechanics? First, players must
Modes of
arrange
procurement.
themselves in the correct order based on the topic
In-introduce po ng
criteria
ating
given by the host.
RA 9.
The goal is to do so quickly
12009.
and accurately. And number two, players must communicate with each other and arrange themselves in the correct order according to the topic. So,
Our new law now
Regina,
allows
okay.
that
And
Ps
number
with
three,
the
once everyone is in
flexibility
the line, the
to
host
select
checks
the
the
most
order to
appropriate
verify
and
if
efficient
our
method
line is
based on the
correct. So may
specific
I invite
needs
everyone to please
in line
stand
with
up,
the
and
fit
maybe
for
we can
purpose
maximize
approach.
that
Yun po yung
side
approach natin.
for us to line. And
Now
don't worry,
the
we'll have
law
a
also
practice game for us
specifies
to
all forms of
be heard.
negotiated
May I
procurement.
invite also our friends
Negotiated
from
procurement
Right to join our
can
activity.
be utilized
Okay,
in
this
various
activity
situations,
also
such as
helps
during
us to
emergencies,
know
highly
more
technical
our
requirements,
colleagues here
or
in
when there
our
are limited
discussion.
supply.
So, are you ready,
So
everyone?
the
Are you ready,
NGPA
everyone?
introduces
Okay,
five
so please line
five
up
innovative
according to
methods
your height,
that
from
will ensure that
smallest to
the procurement
tallest.
choices
So
are
please
tailored
note
to the
from
specific needs
smallest
of the PE,
to tallest.
depending on the unique characteristics po ng of
So
each
we can
project.
verify that very fast
Next
since
slide.
it is very visual to us.
Next
Who's
slide.
the smallest and
Ito po yung 5
who's the
new
tallest?
procurement modes
Can you
natin.
verify if
One, yung
that line
competitive
is
dialogue,
correct?
unsolicited offer with bid matching, direct acquisition, direct
Okay,
sales,
so we can move. We
direct
can move.
procurement for
Okay, so
science,
that's how
technology,
easy
and
our
innovation.
game is. Okay? Now,
What is
for the
competitive
next
dialogue?
topic or for the next criteria,
The mode of procurement,
this
next slide
lineup,
please. It's a
according
mode of procurement that employs
to
a
your first
two-stage
month,
bidding
from
process
January
where the PE
to
invites
December,
suppliers,
from
manufacturers,
January to
distributors,
December.
contractors, consultants, etc. to meet, to have a dialogue, to
Okay?
propose solutions to address its needs and requirements. What is the reason? What is the
Okay.
reason behind
So,
the law?
kailan ang birthday mo?
This mode is
March.
particularly
March,
useful
March,
in those
March.
procurement projects involving innovative
Okay?
designs, complex
So,
purchases,
let's
or
check.
projects with highly technical in nature that cannot be defined immediately. Next is yung unsolicited offer with bid matching. It's a mode of procurement wherein the PE may consider
Okay, very good. Congratulations, everyone. So, question again. October celebrants.
spelling sa atin.
Meron po bang may birthday ngayon?
Unsolicited
Sayang,
offers on a
pakabata
negotiated
na.
basis for goods
Happy
and consulting
birthday.
services.
Okay. Next.
Why? Because this is to encourage yung
Number of
suppliers and
children.
service providers
From
natin to propose mga
least,
novel solutions that may
from
offer unique
most
benefits.
to least.
Next, yung direct acquisition po. It's a mode of procurement wherein subject to the compliance of identified legal, technical, and financial requirements, a PE may procure directly from any reputable source. It's required on yan, mga non-common use supplies and equipments, and where CSEs are not available in the procurement service of the Department of Budget and Management, with an
How
approved
much
budget
right now?
contract not
4,
exceeding
3, 3,
200,000 pesos. Why?
1,
This is the reason behind the law.
team 0.
Will ensure yung efficiency in the procurement
Okay.
process
Next.
by obtaining goods or services without going
Length
to
of time in
the
your
process of bidding.
company. Length of
Provided,
time.
however,
Years,
the APC does
months.
not exceed
From least
the
to
threshold amount
most
of
number of years.
200,000 pesos.
Yes, from least, sorry.
Next
From
mode,
least to
next
most.
new mode,
From least
yung mode of procurement of non-CSEs, where a PE may directly purchase from a supplier that has satisfactorily delivered non-CSEs to another government agency under a completed contract. This modality, no, it assumes na that the goods have been inspected, tapos na accepted, certified by the original government agency under a completed contract. Dapat may ano din, may indication that may satisfactory performance from that other government agency. Why? This is also under the principle po yung ano natin, the principle of efficiency.
Ma'am Edith, what is your message to our
Direct
newest?
procurement for science, technology, and
With
innovation.
inspiration for our
Please.
newest.
Yeah. It is a mode of procurement where the PE may procure goods and services used in the conduct of research and development of
Okay, thank you
projects
so much
or
for
activities
that.
directly
This
from
category,
qualified
little
manufacturer or
bit
supplier
personal, but
or from qualified startup business.
I think kaya nyo to.
This
Job role hierarchy.
new mode
From
seeks to
intern
support
to
yung
the highest
government's
just to
trust po
see our
natin in
diverse
innovating and
participants
efforts
if
of our
how
PEs
they like
directly to
contact
source
and
essential
contact
goods and
if they're
services from
particularly
qualified manufacturers.
from intern. If there's no intern,
It will
maybe
boost
staff, then
yung,
technical
again,
staff.
yung principle of
Then
efficiency po
there are
natin.
managers,
It will create
supervisors,
opportunities from from startup of
Yes po.
SMEs
Highest position,
to
at the
collaborate
end of
with
the line.
government projects. And of course, it
Yung
will
Karen.
strengthen yung public-private partnership po natin. Yeah, which seeks to advance yung mga technological progress po natin. Yan. Next slide, please. Introduction of the new bid evaluation award criteria. The most economically advantageous responsive bid or the MERB. Ito po yung one of the most important po sa NGPA natin, the MERB, ang tinatawag na MERB. But of course, yung LCRB remains still a valid evaluation parameter in awarding of contracts, particularly in cases where cost is the primary determinant or when the PE seeks to prioritize budgetary
Thank you so much,
considerations.
everyone. So this is very
In the
nice to see
passage of
that
this
we have a very
law,
diverse participants.
yung
So different
MERB po na ito,
perspectives from different job positions. And next,
introduces a
our last category,
criteria
this line
that
according to
the
your business category classification. Those offering goods
that
here,
the
for
that
those
both
offering services there,
the qualitative and
infrastructure, and
quantitative
for
factors
consultants,
po
just to see
ng
our
MERB is to
numbers for
enhance
different
yung
kinds of
decision-making
services.
process in public procurement. So, the law allows consideration of various criteria in assessing yung quality po ng procurement project. This will ensure po yung mga selected bid offers the best value in terms of both cost tsaka yung quality. Yeah. Next po yung video recording and next slide please. Video recording of all procurement related conferences for competitive. Ngayon, our law requires that all procurement-related conferences on competitive bidding must begin with a video recording initiated from back.
Okay, so let us check the numbers of
These
our
are now
participants
mandated
for
to
goods.
live stream mga preliminary examination and bid opening to the public
11 for
via
services,
your website,
for 6.
social media, or other live streaming platforms. The mandate of this law
So I
is
think
to enhance
Miss
yung
Beth, this is our
transparency
group.
in
Maybe
order
we
to
can
build
divide
public trust,
for two groups.
particularly in high
Okay, so
value
that
project.
we can maximize
Meron din
our
pong
4
qualification standards po kasi yung
stages,
sinusunod
4
natin.
phases.
Introduced by
We
the law.
focus group
Ito na po
discussion.
yun. Next slide, please.
Since you are 11, maybe 5 and 6.
So mandatory video recording
5
shall
and
only
6.
apply for the following procurement. For goods, kung above 10 million pesos yung project. For infrastructure projects, above
Kindly keep
20
your
million.
names and let us
And
move
for
according
consulting
to
services, 5 million
classification.
pesos.
So for goods number 1, I think kayo ma'am, goods number dito po. And then goods number 2 here.
Now sa joint venture participation.
Or services.
So under our current legal framework, no, joint under RA 9184, joint ventures in public procurement are only briefly mentioned in our IRR of RA 9184 without mentioning specific qualification. Now the new law now requires that each joint venture members primary purpose must be aligned with the procurement project. Saan po natin makikita yung primary purpose ng isang joint venture partner or isang private company or whatever? Doon po sa Articles of Incorporation, di ba? So, the new law now requires that each joint venture member members' primary purpose must be aligned with the procurement project. Ibig sabihin, the same siya. And all members are jointly and severally
Thank you
liable
so
for
much
each
everyone for
breach or
that
non-compliance.
participation. I hope you enjoy our little
This will ensure that
disclaimer
each
and welcome to you.
members' relevant
Okay, this is your
expertise and
family for the next
experience to the
3
project
hours. And well,
addressing past issues where joint
Thank you very
ventures lack
much.
alignment with the project purpose.
Step in the procurement cycle with nobody there. We're all going to be rotating, so we will
Next introduction po ng natin,
press
updates.
to
The
these
Bids and Awards
steps.
Committee
So can I ask
and its composition.
facilitators to join their groups? So
Next slide,
Ms.
please.
Sheila, which group are you with? So
The NGPA outlines an enhanced structure and composition of members of the BAC.
relationship, walk through the steps with that group.
Ito yung salient
And the
features ng
questions that are going to guide the discussion.
ng BAC natin and its
Mr.
composition.
Darrell.
But establishment of BACs
So Mr. Darrell will start with
depending on specific needs of the PE,
here.
composition of members, in terms of office and staggered designations.
Onboarding, field GIPs, and either
The NGPA provides that each PE may establish not just one, but several BACs depending on the volume tsaka yung complexity of each procurement project. What's the reason behind the law po? Ang sabi kasi, not just one, but several BACs pwede nang i-create. This will ensure that efficient and effective conduct of procurement activities. So, the law further provides that under the discretion ng head of procuring entity, if merong several BACs, each BAC must have at least 5 or 7 members. Meaning, yung kung meron pong mga large procurement entities handling high volume of procurement projects simultaneously. Yan. The new law seeks to help manage yung workload po ng BACs natin, ensuring that timely execution of procurement activities. Term of office. So each member of the BAC has a fixed term of 1 year. From the date of designation and is renewable at the discretion of the hope. However, our law provides po na a member of the BAC cannot serve for more than 3 consecutive terms, except when it is allowed by the head of procuring entity. So the reason behind the law, next slide please. The term limits yung renewal and limitation conditions because it will aim to maintain a dynamic and effective BAC by promoting member rotation, ensuring that accountability and prevention of corruption, knowledge transfer, and adaptability ng mga procurement, evolving procurement needs. Sige, next slide please. Na-mention natin yan. Next slide. One of the most important. Granting of honoraria to members of the BAC, technical working groups, and ad hoc BAC secretary. In the old law, the grant of honoraria is specified for BAC members only. However, under the NGPA, yung scope po has been expanded to include all members of the BAC, regardless of their position, as well as members of the TWG and ad hoc secretariat. Why? The law acknowledge yung mga significant contribution of the members, and this will ensure that all individuals who contribute to the success of the procurement activities are rewarded. And as to the amount, previously 25% po yung ano no, yung the grant of honoraria. Now it is increased to 30%. Sige, next slide please. Yan. Based on the basic monthly salaries of the members. Saan po kukunin yung pambayad dun sa top members? Again, next slide. Ayan. Next slide, please. As to the source of funds, as a rule, the payment of honoraria is subject to availability of funds of the PE. However, yung NGPA po natin now introduces that funds for the honoraria can be sourced from fees collected by the bank in the relation yung sa procurement activity, or also the DBM may determine other sources of funds for the grant of honoraria. And the DBM is also tasked to promulgate yung mga necessary guidelines for this purpose po, kung saan kukunin yung source of funds ng ating honoraria. Yan. Sige, next slide. Going to the most important update ng ating law. Institutionalizing professionalization. The NGPA, as I mentioned earlier po, no, the NGPA aims to professionalize yung public procurement practitioners po natin. The law seeks to establish standards, capacity development ng procurement practitioners, and a code of conduct. Ito po yung salient features ng ating batas. Mandatory creation of procurement positions. The DBM po shall create procurement positions in the government based on the qualification standards as recommended by the GPPB and approved by the Civil Service Commission. What's the reason po behind the law? Bakit? Because the creation of the dedicated procurement positions will ensure that only qualified professionals manages yung procurement activities. Because the law seeks again to improve yung efficiency, effectiveness, and integrity of the procurement process. By standardizing these roles across the agencies, the law seeks to promote consistency, targeting, training, and enhancing yung expertise po ng ating procurement professionals. Why? For each procurement activity po kasi, di ba, kung expert ng ating procurement practitioner or license, it is a strategy na it will give more cost saving po sa ating mga PEs, mga government entities. Yeah. So what are yung mga strategies po natin in the professionalization of procurement practitioners? Sige, next slide. The GPPB shall develop competency framework for procurement positions. Develop a certification framework for procurement practitioners. And develop code of ethics to govern the integrity of procurement professionals. And how will we do this? Paano po? Next slide, please. Yan. By licensing of procurement professionals. Our law mandates yung GPPB to consult with the PRC to establish and regulate a professional licensing program along with ongoing legal education for procurement professionals. Why? Because the law recognizes that procurement practitioners to offer them a clear advancement opportunities. And again, it will attract and retain more talents in the public procurement, ensuring that only skilled professionals manage the procurement process effectively. Yeah. Next update. Sige, next slide. Administrative liability. Sobra na ata ako. Okay lang? Sige. Konti na lang. Konti na lang po. Administrative liability. Our law strengthens the rules on administrative liabilities. Okay, balik ka. For public officers and private entities. So, our law introduced the following mechanisms. One, yung administrative liability of public officers. It expanded the scope and application of imposition of preventive suspensions, civil liability in case of conviction. Yan, may mga corrective measures na po tayo. Suspension and blacklisting. Sige, let's go to dito po sa corrective measures. Corrective measures muna. What is the objective po yung ng corrective measure? Sige, slide 67. It allows suppliers, contractors, or consultants to implement corrective or rehabilitative actions prior to the imposition of sanction, of suspension, blacklisting. Bakit po kailangan corrective measure muna? Because this new approach aims to improve yung overall procurement process, such as yung pag-impose ng fines, pagbigay na lang ng mandatory training, or retraining ng mga procurement rules. Yan. Instead of suspension kaagad, corrective measure muna. Next, admin liability is yung imposition of suspension. Yan. In the law, suspension is considered as a light penalty, since the suspended bidder during the procurement phase or during the contract implementation stage shall not be allowed to participate in the procurement of the procuring entity concerned. So, sige. Slide 68. So for the first offense, 1 year suspension. For the second offense, 2 years suspension. Yan. Tama ba na? Next, yung imposition ng blacklisting. The law considers yung blacklisting as a grave penalty, which would prescribe the blacklisted bidder to join any government procurement of all PEs in the country. So the grounds of blacklisting are administrative in nature and does not but now equate to criminal offenses under the NGPA. So for the first offense, 1 year prohibition. Second offense, 2 years prohibition. Next form of blacklisting is imposition of blacklisting with perpetual disqualification. This is a new provision introduced in the law by allowing perpetual disqualification after committing the third offense. Yeah. Or a combination ng mga minention po natin kanina. Perpetual disqualification, the law seeks to send a strong message para sa mga serious and repeated offenders on the procurement regulations. Yeah. Next is suspension pending blacklisting proceedings. Yan. This is a new provision introduced by the law, states that blacklisting proceedings are initiated against a bidder. They're automatically suspending from participating in the procuring entity's current procurement activities. During the investigation, the bidder is prohibited from engaging in the bidding or contracting processes for projects undertaken by the PE. Ano po yung reason behind the law? Sige, next slide ka. Next slide. Automatic suspension po ng bidder from participating in the procurement activity helps to prevent mga potential harm or disadvantages to the PE. Okay. That's it for suspension and blacklisting. One of the important din po na introduction ng ating law is the inclusive procurement program. Sa background po, no? It was the goal of our administration and the GPPB to promote yung sustainable public procurement in the Philippines, in our country. Now, the NGPA introduces a new provision that highlights the importance of providing equal opportunities for the vulnerable and marginalized sectors, including micro enterprises, mga startup businesses. Now, the law also mandates that our office is to issue a policy guidelines to assist procuring entities in the implementation of a more gender responsive approach in public procurement. Why? Because the law seeks to promote yung social inclusion po natin and to provide more economic empowerment for small enterprises. Sige, next slide. Provision for on the issuance of a temporary restraining order or TRO or preliminary mandatory injunctions para sa mga lawyers po natin ito. Now, the NGPA establishes strict limitations on judicial interference in government procurement activities. Courts are prohibited from issuing TROs, prelim injunctions, or preliminary mandatory injunctions against the government, its subdivisions, officials, or any officer or entity acting under the government direction. This is the reason behind the law po. It aims to prevent delays, disruptions, or interference in procurement processes, which can impede yung timely execution of projects and delivery of services to the public. So, meaning po, hindi na pwede mag-issue ng mga TRO sa mga ano natin. No? Courts are prohibited from issuing TROs in all government transactions. Sorry, procurement activities. However, hindi naman po absolute yung batas. Only the Supreme Court may issue TROs, preliminary injunctions, or preliminary mandatory injunctions. Plus, may mga qualifications po tayo. Yan. In cases of extreme urgency, kung si aplikante mag-file ng bond with an amount determined by the court, yan. Yan lang po yung dalawang instances provided sa ating batas. Next update. The GPPB and IATWG. Ngayon po, RA 12009 now institutionalize yung establishment ng ITWG natin. With the primary role is to provide subject matter expertise to the GPPB in the formulation ng mga and policy recommendations sa ating mga procuring entities. So the composition of the ITWG will be strengthened as the NGPA's identified sectors to become member of the group. Next slide please. Teka, hindi naman important yan. Transitory provisions. Sige, next slide. Yan. Sabi po ng batas natin, until the new IRR for the NGPA becomes effective, the provisions of RA 9184 and its IRR will remain in force and effect. Ibig sabihin po, gagamitin pa rin natin RA 9184 habang hinintay natin yung IRR ng ano. Currently, on the works na po tayo doon sa IRR ng NGPA. We are on the drafting phase. Next po natin doon is kakaroon ng public consultations and then yung review po ng GPP board natin. Yan. 3-year transitory period. All entities affected by the NGPA, including the GPPB, procuring entities, HOPE, BAC, are given 3 years. Bakit period? 3 years period to fully transition to the new requirements ng law. Why? What is the reason behind the law po? Bakit 3 years ang binigay ni Senator Angara? 3-year transition period allows for gradual implementation ng mga new requirements po natin. Ito na yung mga i-revise ng mga standard forms, mga ganun. Ensuring that ongoing projects are not disrupted and no confusion about applicable rules during the transitory period. Yan. Meron pa. And that ends my presentation, no? Thank you. Thank you po. Kala ko meron pa.
All right, that was again Attorney Farhan Jumdain, our very own Attorney Far. I know po marami po tayong questions, no, but please just keep them inside your pockets because we'll be having our open forum later on after our entire afternoon session. All right, but before we go ahead and move on to our next breakout session this afternoon, I would like to call on my teammate, Mr. John Mark Duetes, for some exciting surprises.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Ayan, so mukhang inaantok po tayong lahat. But again, magandang hapon po. I am Mark Duetes, the current handling officer of the Sustained Dahan and the Innovation Showcase. And as promised, part of this event ay magbibigay po kami ng mga special prizes to all the participants na drop in ang kanilang entry for our crossword puzzle. So, sure po ba tayo na tama yung sagot natin? Medyo alanganin. So, anyways guys, so I'm going to announce the first set of winners of our raffle. So, una po ay makaka-receive po sila ng t-shirt from PC Works, from InfoWorks. All of these prizes po ay pledge po ng ating mga Sustaindahan booth. So I'm all encouraging every one of you guys to please visit and also support our Sustaindahan booths sa lobby at meron din po tayo sa second floor. So hopefully guys, ma-visit nyo rin po yung sa second floor guys. So yes, i-visit po natin. Ay, lakasan nyo yung yes. Hindi ko to ibibigay. Yes? Yan. So, perfect. So, to announce the winners of this t-shirt from InfoWorks, congratulations. So, bibilangan lang natin ha. Pag wala dito, wala na. Forfeited na agad. Ready? Congratulations, Miss Jessa F. De La Cruz from International. Nasaan po siya? Tayo na po. Kung hindi nyo po bet yung napanalunan nyo, wala po tayong magagawa. Ito na po yun. Ay. Miss Monique, okay na po kung mabigyan po sila ng token. Ayan, next winner po natin ay si Miss Cherry Anyasco. Miss Cherry, nandito po si Ma'am Cherry. Hindi po siya kasama sa breakout, pero may kasama siya ngayon. Kayo po. Okay na mag-receive it on behalf of Miss Cherry. Next po is Rogema Monlerate. Oh, void din pag di ko maintindihan yung sulat. Kayo yun po yun? Ay, di go ko naman pala nga. Okay, alright. So, congratulations po. Kuha na lang po dito ng inyong shirt from PC Works. Ayan. Wait lang. Sige po ma'am, papunta na lang po sa harap yung winners po natin. Si Miss Jessa. Nas po si Ma'am Jessa? Ayan pa. So, congrats po. Parang hindi kayo masaya naman. Thank you po. Ayan. From PC Works po. Pati kayo Ma'am Cheryl. Ayan. So, Miss Monique, pa-hand over naman po ng token requisition. Wait lang po Next winners po natin ay galing po sa Juice Kuwan. Kung na-visit nyo kanina sa baba, yung product po nila is yung juice made of sugarcane. Na-try niyo po ba yung product nila? Kung hindi po, must try po siya kasi sobrang masarap po siya and healthy din. So, from Juice Kuwan, ang mapapanalunan niyo po is yung 2 liters ng kanila pong product. So, i-claim niyo lang po ito sa baba. So, congratulations po to Miss Scarlett Joy and 𝗂𝗏𝗃 Castillon. Nandito po. And next po ay si Lourdes Nang. Congratulations po. So again, papakita nyo lang po ito sa juice ko. So meron po kayong makiklaim po na 2 liters po na bottle with of yung sugarcane juice po nila na products. Congratulations po. So punta na lang po kay Miss Monique for the token requisition. Ayan. Okay po. Ma'am, pwede pa picture na lang din po yung mga nanalo, sir. Yan, thank you. Next naman po natin ay yung 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗃 homemade. Ito rin po ay sustaindahan booth din po natin sa baba and they are selling like bottled goods made of like mga pastil, yung mga ganun pong product. So, kayo po yung mamimili kung ano po daw ang gusto nyong i-claim sa kanila. So, you're just going to present this. So, congratulations po to Angeline Banyares. Miss Angeline, so yan po. And next po ay si Miss Charlotte Bandulin. Miss Char, yan. So, first set pa lang po ito. Isa po. Papakita niyo po ito sa 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗃s doon. Hanapin niyo lang po. Ayan. Pa-picture up. Post po tayo sa camera for documentation. Thank you. Ayan. So, next, naman po natin ay from Sinaya Cup. I think much ma-appreciate po ito. Guys, yung mga winners po, please punta po muna kay Miss Monica para po sa token acknowledgement po. Papunta na lang po. Salamat. Ito po ay from Sinaya Cup and This is heat pack po na pwede niyo pong gamitin kapag daw po kayo ay inaatake ng dysmenorrhea or something like menstrual. Ganun po. Only women can relate. Charing. So, selected po na babae po ang mananalo nitong item po natin. And please kindly visit their booth po sa baba. May mga other items po sila na binibenta. So congratulations po to Miss Justin May Lamson and to Miss Sheila Marie Bustamante. Ayan, punta rin po dun. Ayan, so congratulations po sa ating mga winners. Ngayon naman po, ang ating second set naman po ay from GPPBTSO and it is coasters. Ay, picture na lang po. Documentation. Congratulations. Again po, punta po muna kay Miss Monica for the token acknowledgement receipt. Ayan, so let's proceed po sa 10 winners po ng coaster from GPPBTSO. So congratulations po to Miss Heidi Villamayor, Miss Michelle Saplaco, Miss Regine Redilla, 𝗟𝗲𝗃𝗲𝗃𝗲𝗏, Vivian Bakatay, Kimar Gargarita, Ramon Christopher Escalona, Paul Jan de los Santos, and last is Gregory Kamkain. Ayun, so sir, congratulations po. Punta na po muna sa harap. Ayan, so again guys, congratulations po on winning our special prizes only here on the 2024 Procurement Summit. So, balik po ulit kayo bukas for another set or another chances of winning po of special prize from our sustaindahan booths and also from the GPPBTSO. Again, maraming salamat po and let's now continue on the discussion for our breakout session 1. May dalawa pa daw po na hindi pa naki-claim. Sino po yon? So pag hindi nyo po siya ma-claim today, ay forfeited na po kayo. Alright, again, thank you po.
Ayan, so congratulations. I believe meron pa pong isang hindi nag-claim ng ating bamboo coaster. Just please approach our secretariat so that you may claim your prize. And now let's proceed to our second and final session for this afternoon. And that's on Regina system. So to proceed, it is my honor to introduce our next resource speaker. Our resource speaker is a proud graduate of De La Salle University, Manila. She works on open government, sustainable public procurement, and digital transformation. Her leadership has earned her numerous accolades, including the 2020 Rising Star Award, the 2021 Going the Extra Mile of the Team Award, and the prestigious 2022 Gem of the Year Award. Our resource speaker has spearheaded key initiatives such as the development of the Procurement Diagnostics Hub under the Philippines Open Government Partnership, National Commitment, and Sustainable Public Procurement Monitoring, bringing international recognition to the country. Her work also includes the creation of the Regina, or Real-Time Early Procurement Analytics and Information System, and the online annual procurement plan system, advancing transparency and efficiency in public procurement. In addition to her leadership in public procurement, our resource speaker has also contributed to research in fields related to online behavior, digital communication, and the social impact of technology. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Regina Maria Nina Ruiz. All right, so while we settle the technical arrangements that we need for the next session, by the way, our resource speaker will be joining us online, and then later on, she will be joining us here for the open forum. I-remind ko lang po, lahat po dapat nakapag-register sa attendance sa labas, because that is very, very important for us to acknowledge your presence today. And also, we would like to invite you once again sa atin pong Sustaindahan and Innovation Showcase. Ayan, may patikim na po yung atin pong mga winners kanina, and hopefully for tomorrow and other sessions, magkaroon pa po tayo ng other winners. And again, for questions, alam ko pong maraming question, especially sa first session natin on NGPA. Marami pong for clarifications. Again, we will be accommodating all related questions at the end of all of our sessions this afternoon. Okay? So I hope, are we green on the next session? Ayan, sige. While we wait po, pwede pong mag-bio break muna ang lahat. And please check again kung nakapag-sign na po sa ating attendance sheet located outside of our venue. Ayan, maraming tumatayo. Sabi nila, hindi pa ako nakakapag-sign. So again, kindly check po because that is very, very important pagkatapos po ng ating event. That will be very, very helpful sa end po ng Secretariat. Thank you very much po. Seeing others joining po, humahabol sa ating breakout session. Thank you very much po for joining us this afternoon. All right, so that's it. Once again, let us join me in welcoming our final resource speaker, Ms. Maria Regina Rubez.
Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Para sa session na to, pag-uusapan po natin ang Regina system. Now, the rollout of the Regina system was approved by our Government Procurement Policy Board or GPPB last year or last November 30, 2023 through resolution number 18. So, paano nga po ba ang Regina system at para saan naman ito? The Regina system allows PEs to upload and enter their certification information, making the process faster, more transparent, and accountable. So it helps ensure that PE certifications are submitted accurately and on time, supporting compliance with procurement rules and regulations. So this does not only simplify submissions and compliance notices, but it also generates real-time analytics on government efforts for managing their procurement projects. So when the GPPB approved Regina in November of 2023, our monitoring officers took the lead by encoding your 𝗟𝗲 certifications for the proposed budget year 2024. This is why you have received emails from Regina asking for confirmation of the encoded details followed by a notification of your compliance status. And for the proposed budget year 2025, start na po ang full implementation natin, which means kayo na po ang diretso makikipag-usap kay Regina when it comes to your 𝗟𝗲 requirement. And when's the deadline for 𝗟𝗲 certifications for the proposed budget year 2025? It is due on January 31, 2025. This is why as early as now, I highly encourage everyone to already submit your 𝗟𝗲 certifications. Lalo na po yung mga PEs na exempted po sa 𝗟𝗲 requirements, punta na po kayo kay Regina, i-submit yun na po. Ano ang ganap during the transition period in 2024? So actually, the system had a difficult time processing some of the PE submissions during the transition period because it encountered several concerns. You see this pie chart, okay? So out of the 1,180 𝗟𝗲 certificate submissions made for the proposed budget year 2024, 70.6% of certifications were not compliant with the prescribed template. Top 2 is 23.9% of certifications had inconsistencies in the declared values, and 3.9% of certifications were not signed by the head of the procuring entity or the HOPE. Okay, ngayon isa-isahin po natin, no? What do you mean by non-compliance with the prescribed template? First, remember we only have 2 templates for the 𝗟𝗲 requirement. On your left is the template for when you have successfully undertaken 𝗟𝗲, unsuccessfully undertaken 𝗟𝗲, and non-undertaking. On your right, ito po yung pag-exempted po kayo sa 𝗟𝗲 requirement as prescribed under the PPB. We noticed in 2024 that a handful of PEs remain to use incorrect templates. So what do I mean by that? Kita niyo po yung mga highlighted areas on the template. Yan po ang karamihan na nakakaligtaan ng mga PEs sulatan. Minsan din po ay nakakalimutan ang justification portion. Okay, sa mga PEs who have undertaken 𝗟𝗲 but was not able to recommend for award at least 50% of eligible procurement projects, kailangan pong mag-justify dito sa portion po na to. Same goes for those who did not undertake 𝗟𝗲 despite the existence of eligible procurement projects. Kailangan rin po mag-justify. Okay? Pero kung successful naman po sila, meaning nakapag-recommend po kayo ng award for at least 50% of your eligible procurement projects, hindi na po kailangan justification. Just make sure the rest of the required information are properly filled up. Okay? And on your screen, makikita po natin ang guide Okay, we notice meron po mga PEs who would submit and declare that they have successfully undertaken, but when we review the breakdown of the values they have placed there, medyo hindi po sila consistent, no? Meron pong nakalagay doon, less than 50% ang successful. But at the same time, they have declared, first paragraph, na successfully undertaken. So, ito po tatandaan natin. Successfully undertaken, you have recommended for award at least 50% ng EPA and at least 50% recommended to award. Okay, paano pag less than 50% ang na-recommend to award? Ang status po natin, unsuccessfully undertaken. Paano pag hindi ka nag-EPA kahit meron ka namang eligible procurement projects? Pag tinanong namin yung APP nyo. Ito, not undertaken naman po ang status. And both of which, itong dalawang ito, kailangan po natin mag-justification. Okay? For the other template, for exception, ang napapansin naman po namin, nakakaligtaan po nating lagyan ng fiscal year po ito, no? Or minsan po, nakalagay po sa email, they're submitting the EPA certification for the fiscal year 2024. Pero ang nakalagay po dito sa mismong certificate that they've given to us, it says 2023. Meron din pong cases na nakakaligtaan po tong paragraph na to, no? Nakakalimutan po, siguro po natanggal. So, mabutihin lang po natin na yung template na ginagamit natin is the prescribed template as issued by AU25 or as you see from our GPPB website. We've also had experiences na nagsubmit mo na exception, napakaaga, November, September of the prior year, no? Pero wala pong perma ng hope or hindi po notarized. So, reminder lang po, let's make sure na signed and notarized po yung certificates natin. Okay, next. Napansin din po namin through the system na may mga certifications na may discrepancy sa values declared. So, for example po dito, papansin nyo, malaki pa po yung declared na amount sa letter B or the exceptions compared dun sa total amount of indicative APP. Di ba po? Nakita rin po dito ng system ang hindi tamang computation ng amount of eligible procurement projects kung saan ay naapektuhan din ang declared percentage of successful EPA. If you would notice po sa certificate, nandito na po yung formula natin. So, mabutihin po nating tingnan to para yung computation po natin masiguradong tama. Now, for the top 3 naman ay ang mga PEs po makakapag-submit on time. Some would even submit as early as November prior to the submission deadline year. However, nakaligtaan po ang pirma ng HOPE or its authorized representative. Now, based on our observations from the transition period, we further enhanced the system to better guide you in complying with the EPA requirement. So, paano nga ba mag-submit ng EPA certificate for the proposed budget year 2025? Simple lang po. Okay? Access the submission form. Start by completing the form with the details from your EPA certifications. Okay, you'll notice that for each question, there are guides provided to help you ensure your EPA compliance. This way, any discrepancies can be addressed before you officially submit, which will save you time later on. Now, the form helps you to ensure that required information is complete depending on your EPA status. Kaya make sure to take advantage of this as early as now. Tingnan nyo na po yung submission form natin sa Regina system. Now, with the Regina system, guided po tayo sa pag-encode every step of the way, which will allow you to triple check the certification you've prepared before submitting. I would also like to remind everyone, make sure to enter your correct email address in the form, as this is where you will receive a notification email with your submission details and a unique agency ID to be used later on in case you wish to update your EPA information or request for revalidation. Syempre, you will also receive the EPA compliance status in the same email address. Okay? And huwag din po natin kalimutan ang mag-check ng spam or junk folder kasi minsan may mga emails tayo na dito po napupunta. Now, once you have submitted your certification, you'll be directed to the Regina dashboard where you can access 𝗟𝗲-related data from PEs. This dashboard offers real-time insights and includes a client satisfaction survey, allowing you to provide feedback so we can continue improving the system. And please, I hope you could have the time to check our dashboard out and share your thoughts on our latest innovation para magkaroon din po kami ng more ideas on how to serve you better, di po ba? Now, in case you've received a non-compliance status, don't worry. You don't need to call us or send us hundreds of emails because the notification will include a link where you can request a revalidation and the results will be sent to the same email address you have used. Now, when we rolled out the Regina system in 2024 under a transition period, 95.26% of our PEs expressed extreme satisfaction with how their 𝗟𝗲 certifications were handled. And based on their feedbacks, nikilig kami dito, PEs appreciate the quicker response times, moving from days to mere hours and sometimes even minutes, thanks to the system's real-time updates. Its user-friendly interface and step-by-step guidance have also been praised, simplifying the submission process and compliance tracking. Since January 31, 2025 pa po ang deadline ng 𝗟𝗲 certificate for the proposed budget year 2025, I hope that as early as now, you take advantage of the GPPBTS or Regina system. Bago nyo pa po ipapirma kay Hope and get it notarized, try encoding your 𝗟𝗲 information first to cross-check the correctness of how your certificates were accomplished. Okay? And remember, we only have 2 certificate templates to be used. On your left, ito po ay para sa PEs who have either successfully undertaken, unsuccessfully undertaken, and not undertaken despite existence of eligible procurement projects. On your right, ito po ay ang for those who are exempted. Now, next question, saan po ba makakakuha ng certificate templates? Of course, check EU25 guidelines or simply visit our website at www.gppb.gov.ph and look for the downloadable forms tab. Now, ang tanong ko po sa inyo, gusto mo po ba wala ng revision sa 𝗟𝗲 certifications nyo? Gusto mo po ba may compliance notice agad? Well, then try our Regina system today. Okay? Now, before I conclude this session, I am thrilled to announce an exciting new opportunity. Our training team, led by Ms. Relyn Concha, will be launching our first ever specialized self-paced course. Now, this course is designed to help you master the conduct of 𝗟𝗲 and the use of our Regina system. Okay, it's equivalent to 8 hours of training and comes with a certificate upon completion. You will enjoy an interactive learning experience with activities like drag and drop, issue spotting, fill in the blanks, crossword puzzles, scenario-based questions, all designed to help you better understand and apply what you've learned. Now, next question is where to access this course? I want to access this course. Syempre, in our ProPro Online Hub or the Procurement Professionals Online Hub. Simply visit our website at www.gppb.gov.ph and look for the Pro Hub icon to get started. Now, whether you're looking to upgrade your procurement skills or simply stay updated, this course is definitely for you. And of course, next question, when will this be launched? It's for you to find out. So follow us on our official social media pages and check our official website for more updates. Okay? And that's it. Maraming salamat po for your kind attention. Thank you po.
All right, once again, that was Miss Regina Maria Nina Ruiz. Now we move on to our open forum. We are also joined po by our IRR team na sasagot po sa inyo pong mga questions regarding the NGPA and of course our Regina system. So who would like to ask the first question? Raise lang po ng hand and then lalapitan ko po kayo. Wala? Sure? Ayun, si ma'am.
Good afternoon po. I'm Cara from Batangas Medical Hospital. So my question is, how can subjectivity be avoided with the use of 𝗟𝗏? Does this method not increase the potential for favoritism and corruption? How can subjectivity be avoided with the use of 𝗟𝗏? Does this method not increase the potential for favoritism and corruption?
Ayan. So while we wait for our source speaker, Attorney Farham Jumdain, we have our IRR team to answer that question. Okay po, paulit po natin ang question, ma'am. Can you repeat po the question?
Again po, how can subjectivity be avoided with the use of 𝗟𝗏? Does this method not increase the potential for favoritism and corruption?
Ayun po 'no, very relevant question po siya. Hello po, ayan. Lakasan ko na lang po. Ayan. Right now po kasi we are in the middle of drafting our IRR. So makikita niyo po, introduce ko lang po, ito po yung IRR team natin. And so we are undergoing the drafting phase. Dito po sa drafting phase, we are consulting with different agencies, departments, and also stakeholders. So ngayon po ang ginagawa po namin is we are getting their feedback kung ano po yung mga gaps and issues that they spot. Kasi po kayo po yung mga sila po yung mga technical experts dito. And also, people on the ground, they're the ones who really experience etong mga gaps and issues po na to. Kaya po very relevant po yung question ni ma'am. Ang gagawin po natin is i-address po natin to through the IRR. Through the IRR po, we will put strict guidelines and safeguards on specific criterion na kailangan natin i-consider when it comes to 𝗟𝗏. So, hindi naman po to free for all, no? Actually po sa invitation to bid, if you look at Section 61 po ng ating NGPA, naka-specify po doon na pagdating po sa invitation to bid, dapat very clear po, very clear po yung criterion na gagamitin when it comes to the quality-price ratio and yung gagamitin po natin na factors when we are using the 𝗟𝗏. So, ayun po. If you have other issues po or concerns regarding it, we would be glad to know of these para po pagdating po sa drafting ng IRR is ma-integrate po natin doon and we can come up with a very efficient and very foolproof na IRR provision when it comes to that specific requirement po.
So, possible po kaya ma'am na magkaroon ng standard rating system po?
That is something that we will take under consideration po. Actually, very good suggestion po yan. We will take it under consideration and check po yung feasibility niya sa pag-integrate natin sa IR.
Okay,
Thank you po.
Thank you very much.
Hi, good afternoon. I'd also like to add, no, I'm Deputy Executive Director. Test. The 𝗟𝗏, maybe as a concept, no, it will give although meron pa tayong, we are still in the stage of developing our IRR to fully implement the specifics of the MERB. Ideally, MERB gives the PE the freedom or the flexibility to set weights for quality and for pricing. There is a threshold provided under the law under which we can move that percentage. Hindi lang namin mabigay ngayon kasi meron pang mechanics na ide-develop on that. But essentially, pwede kang mag-move within, like say, 80% quality, 20% pricing, until 60-40. But it will depend now on the procuring entity to set that threshold. So ganon siya ka-flexible. We are saying that it is supposed to be pursuant to transparency. So hindi natin dapat makita na magamit siya as an instrument na magkaroon ng favoritism or discretion, because yung MERB na yan is going to be set at the start of the procurement. Hindi mo naman siya iseset habang nagpo-procure kayo. So, yung standard na yan sa planning stage pa lang, dapat alam na ng PE yung bibigay niyang percentage for the quality and percentage for the pricing. Yun po. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, I would like to acknowledge our Deputy Executive Director, Attorney Maria Josine Claire 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us this afternoon. And of course, Attorney Abigail Joy Elbambo, thank you very much, ma'am, for answering our first question. Attorney Far, do you want to add some more? Or let's proceed to the next question. Thank you very much, ma'am, for raising your concern. Do we have any more questions? Ayan, si ma'am ulit.
So, regarding naman po ito sa napakinig ko kanina regarding sa honorarium. So, di ba po, yung ginagamit natin sa honorarium is yung ating mga proceeds from back. So, based on the information I have read sa DOF-DBM-COA Permanent Committee Resolution number 2005-2, proceeds from the sales of bid documents, minutes of the meeting, abstract of canvas, and forfeited performance bond can only be used exclusively for honorarium pay, overtime pay of procurement staff, legal assistance, and indemnification, and the excess or unutilized budget shall be remitted to the National Treasury. So in the new procurement law po ba, is it possible that the proceeds may also be utilized by the bank for other expenses? Lalo po ngayon at digitalization na tayo. So can it also be used for video conferencing, for procurement of video conferencing equipments, ICT supplies and equipment, allowance during back conferences, such as yung pang meals po ng back, and the fees for related trainings and seminars and other expenses for the operation of back. Kasi sa amin po, sa DOH, medyo maliit po yung budget na dumadating sa amin. And minsan po, hindi sapat po yung income namin para po sa ibang pangangailangan po ng like ng amin sa back committee. So wala pa po kasing nagsusupersede doon sa nabanggit kong circular. So possible po kaya na mas maging flexible tayo at magamit din po yung mga proceeds from back sa other expenses ng back at hindi po ma-return to treasury kapag ka po hindi yan na-utilize for payment ng honorarium.
Hi, ma'am. Highly tech lang question nyo po, no? But based naman sa based on the ang sabi naman ng bagong batas is the source of funds may come from the bank. So meaning doon po siya sa bank. But currently as it now stands, yung DBM may yung formulate yung mga guidelines as to the source of funds. Ganun lang po yung So kung doon po sa mga minention mong COA circulars, it may be taken into consideration po by the DBM. Yes.
Medyo matagal na po kasi yung batas at may nabasa po kasi ako doon na parang parang ire-request pero until now wala pa rin nagsusupersede. Tapos sa case po kasi namin, sapat po yung proceeds ng back para dun sa honorarium ng back members namin. Sobra-sobra po na mas malaki pa po yung mare-return to treasury. Kaya sana po ay dun sa NGPA, mabanggit din po na pwedeng namin gamitin yung ibang proceeds ng back sa other expenses ng back natin. Ayun po.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll take that into consideration, no, and provide the necessary recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you very much po. No, I would like to take this opportunity po again to advertise or plug our NGPA microsite. So last August, we launched this. All you have to do po is to visit ngpa.gppb.gov.ph and meron pong feature doon that you can add your recommendation, your insights, your inputs. And this is a very good avenue po para mabasa namin, no? And especially the IRR team para makonsider po nila in the crafting of the IRR. So again, to do is to visit gpa.gppb.gov.ph. Ma'am, thank you very much po for raising your questions and concerns. Others po, just please raise your hand and lalapitan ko po kayo.
So good afternoon po to our dear GPPB officers. I'm Vanessa Valderrama from the Pag-ibig Fund Corporate Headquarters. I would like to check lang po if tama yung kanina kasi there are new procurement modalities. And then, tama po ba yung understanding ko, ma'am, na competitive bidding is no longer the default mode, but kung ano na yung appropriate on the required items, yun ang ating i-adapt. Okay, with that, natugunan din po kasi yung mga problema ng ating mga procuring entities, lalo na in the regions, yung mga supplies po kasi na not available kay PSDBM. Kasi nag-increase yung ating threshold for small value to 2 million. Tama po ba? Okay. So ang tanong lang po, since we are required to submit our APPCSE ahead of time to ensure na meron tayong supplies po kung kailan natin siya need. For example po, sana natugunan na din ni PS yung usually po kasi hindi available yung mga supplies kay PSDBM. And ang nagiging problema po ng mga procuring entities, lalo na po in the region, yung ating existing rule po kasi it will require approval muna ng Hope to Back resolution for the change in procurement modality from A to, for example, shopping or through competitive bidding. And then dun pa lang siya mag-update ng APP. And then that's the only time we will start procurement. Kasi nga, as a general rule, no procurement if it's not in accordance with the APP. So with the new GPA po ba, natugunan po kaya itong ating, pwede po ba na if not available kay PSDBM, pwede po bang outright makapag-procure na tayo based on the appropriate modality, or we still need to undergo the tedious process kasi at the time of need po, doon na nagkakaproblema. Nawawalan na kami ng supplies sa tagal ng proseso na magbaback resolution, mag-update ng APP, and then saka ka pa mag-undergo ng competitive bidding, and then the delivery schedule pa. So sana po doon sa ating new, sa IRR, baka po pwedeng pagdating sa mga commonly used office supplies and equipment, medyo merong flexibility na hindi na po ganun kahaba yung proseso. Thank you po. So basically, ang tanong ko lang po is kung ma-address siya ng IRR, ng new procurement law.
Oh. Hello, good afternoon po. Thank you for that, for telling us that issue and gap. Yes, napansin nga din namin that most of the issues that are being raised yung process nga when it comes to the purchase of yung mga goods na minsan is nagkakaroon tayo ng mga problems when it comes to yung pagpo-procure nga ng mga goods and services and other So for that, we are gonna address that for sure because for the NGPA, we already have new modes of procurement. So that for now, we will ensure that for the IRR drafting, we will be including on how we will effectively implement those other modes of procurement para mas mapadali yung process than before. So ito yung isa sa inintroduce ni NGPA is for the easier process than before. So hopefully, and with the gaps and all the inputs that you are telling us right now, we can incorporate those when we draft our IRR for the NGPA. Thank you.
Thank you po.
All right. Any other questions or clarifications you would like to clarify? Ayan.
Hello po, good afternoon po from Batangas State University. Hello. Part po nung discussion ay merong mandatory creation of positions for procurement offices. Tama ba? Sa SUCs po, meron na po kasing tapos na po kami sa phase 1 ng pag-implement po ng ROS. And part of it ay ang pagbibigay po ng mga positions, mandalia positions para sa admin. And part po doon ay sa procurement. Now, magkakaroon po ba ng provisions ng creation ng position? Kung hindi naman po sa procurement dahil meron na po, baka po sa mga back kung hindi man po siya ad hoc. Kung siya po ay mga permanent office or organic office ng Business Awards Committee na magkaroon po ng mga position para po doon.
Ay. Hi, sir. So yung question mo is, will the agency create some kind of a divisions within the organization para sa mga procurement? Tama? Tama po ba?
Kung mag-create po ng mga plantilla positions pa, bukod po especially sa mga SUCs, kung magpag-create pa po ng additional positions, bukod po sa naibaba na through ROS, para naman po sa mga back sa mga Business Awards Committee po. For example, in our case po sa Batangas State, we have procurement office. At the same time, we have the back office. Separate offices po sila. And they have support staff. So, are we creating plantilla positions for the back since meron na po yun sa procurement?
Well, yun po yung intention ng law. No? That's the intent of the law na the DBM will create procurement positions for procurement professionals. So, it will be developed during the IR stage po. Yun po yung kailangan ang aabangan na lang natin. So, we'll just take note din yung yung concern ninyo. And yes, may possibility po na mangyayari yan. Sige. Yan si Didi Bani.
Hello po ulit. Sir, ang purpose po ng professionalization provision doon sa ating NGPA is really to remove. Hello. Hello.
Just
Ayaw sa akin. Hello. Ayun. Kailangan ko dito. Yung mic. Okay. Sir, kailangan ko daw lumapit sa harap para marinig ako. Anyway, ang purpose po na, sino po ulit yung nagtanong, sir? Ang purpose po ng ating NGPA really is to remove yung ad hoc positions and to professionalize po yung procurement competency ng ating mga procurement practitioners. Part of the moving forward steps po is to also create positions purely for procurement or for procurement units within the office. Plus, ito po, kasama po sa plano, but maybe in the coming years pa, because we will have to coordinate with the PRC also for the licensing, possible licensing po, like appraisers or brokers. Recently, meron na silang lisensya. So we're also going towards that direction for procurement practitioners. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DED Bonnie. Any more? Ayan, sige.
Good afternoon po. I'm 𝗟𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 from NFA. This question ma'am, is related to what you've answered. You've mentioned that there will be a licensure exam for the anticipated Met officer position. What will be the eligible course po? Who can undertake the exam? Will it be limited to the management course lang po ba?
Ma'am, the question is so detailed, we cannot answer that right now. That will be part of the IRR draft. Thank you.
Ayan, ma'am. So, meron pa pong hahabol na question? Again, ma'am, no, for queries that we're not able to answer right now, all you have to do po is to please input your questions or insights in our NGPA microsite at ngpa.gppb.gov.ph. Meron na po bang nakapag-register dito? Wala pa. So, ayan. Just please check it out. Again, that's ngpa.gppb.gov.ph. Ayan, I think may question pa po si ma'am.
Regarding naman po dun sa ep undertaking, di ba po, ma'am, nakalagay po kasi dun is based on NEP. Sa agency po namin, we are currently, using yung framework agreement. So, yun po kasing budget nga po sa DOH, sa mga hospitals ay hindi masyadong malaki. So, bukod po dun sa NEP, sinasamahan po namin siya ng projected income. And di ba po, pag framework of agreement, hindi mo naman po agad kailangan ng certificate of availability of fund. So, pagka po ganun, ang i-declare pa rin po doon sa EP undertaking is yung base lang po ba sa NEP, not the whole amount na pina-EPA namin.
We'll have someone from the Performance Monitoring Division, Ma'am Bart.
Hello po, good afternoon. Thank you for that nice question. Pero for EPA po kasi, and then you're going to use other fund source. Although din sa ating certification ay NEP lang yung mini-mention niya. In general po kasi, if you will look at the guidelines po of EPA, regardless of the fund source naman po, whether galing din sa income nyo. So you can declare it naman po. Kasi di ba po, ang whole number naman ng universe naman natin down ay total amount of approved indicative ATP. So whatever is reflected in your approved indicative ATP, you should reflect that po. So notwithstanding other funding sources, pwede naman po.
Pwede po kayang i-revise na lang yung form para po hindi confusing kasi last time na nag-declare kami po ng EP undertaking, ang ginamit lang po namin is
Limit
yung
nyo lang
sa
sa
NEP.
NEP.
Ay ngayon po, di ba po, we're using nga po yung framework agreement. So, hindi naman siya kailangan agad ng secured na fund source. So, wala pang CAF. So, ang ginagawa po namin, lahat ng projection ng end user namin kung magkano yung kailangan talaga nilang budget, yun po yung pinapa-EPA namin. So, ngayon po, clear na sa akin, kahit po anong fund source, i-declare na lang
Kasi
namin.
kaya siya in accordance to the NEP. Kasi po, if your funding source with BGAA, you make sure po that your naka-incorporate siya sa proposed budget nyo in terms of the National Expenditure Program. Doesn't really limiting it to the NEP alone. Kasi di ba marami pa tayong funding sources. So even if you are, halimbawa, GOCC ka, you have your corporate budget, you have other income or funds that are that may be part of your proposal na ano siya. So, pagka ganun po, pwede po isama natin. Inaano lang natin na in accordance with the NEP, we make sure na if it's GAA, we're really after, naka-ano po doon, naka-incorporate po doon sa inyong indicative APP. Yun lang po yun.
And ma'am, follow-up question. Di ba po ang eligible for EPA is yung public meeting? So, pwede, except yung mga small value, shopping,
Exceptions po.
apa, RO, ano pa ba? Yung mga takeover. So, ibig sabihin po, pwede po yung mga hindi nabanggit yun, like direct contracting, pwede rin siya sa EPA. Direct contracting, list of venues,
Yes.
agency to agency. How about po yung direct retail purchase?
Direct purchase.
Kasi wala po siya dun sa exemption.
Hindi, kasi babalik tayo sa purpose natin. Bakit tayo naging EPA? Di ba? Immediate implementation of contract. Gaano ba ka-complicated yung direct purchase na yun? And we all know, pag direct purchase, mabilis, di ba? So, prior to the award kasi po yung hanggang recommendation to award. So, do you need recommendation to award for the direct purchase?
Ano po bang procedure din sa direct retail? Kasi, ano po yung gagawa kami ng resolution lang na declaring na ang mode of procurement niya is direct retail purchase. Then, wala na siyang mga NOAA, wala na siyang PO, wala na siyang NTPs.
May process pa rin po siya for direct purchase, di ba po? Process pa rin siya. Hindi siya yung direct ka na lang na
Kailangan pa rin po siya ng canvassing.
Opo. Meron pa rin siya in terms of the IRR. May steps pa din. Annex H. Annex H.
Okay po.
Basta prior.
Kaya purchase, kung gumawa ka ng mga feasibility studies, it is considered a successful effort.
Hindi kasi, when we go to the definition po ulit ng EPA until the back recommendation to award. So, basta prior to the award, if you think na after undertaking those steps, except for the award itself,
included na rin sa direct retail purchase kasi yung mga subscription. So, para pag online subscription, hindi ka naman, I believe hindi ko naman kayang padalhan ng PO yung, lalo na pagka hindi locally, pang international yung
Yun nga po So, why would you have to do an EPA? Tingnan nyo muna kasi kung kung kailangan ba talagang i-EPA siya or not. Kasi, kung mabilis naman yung process,
pero hindi, yung sa procedure po. So, until reso lang po talaga kami. Dahil
until resolution, back recommendation to award.
resolution, award or mode?
Recommendation to award.
Award.
Opo. Doon lagi siya babagsak.
Kahit po kahit online subscription.
Basta short of award.
Lalo pa halimbawa, mga Zoom subscript.
Basta hindi nyo pa
International
award. Basta hindi nyo pa po
hanggang award din.
Before the award. Huwag nyo muna i-award kasi wala pa approved budget, diba?
Hindi na po ito for EPA. Yung procedure lang ng...
yung procedure. Procedure na pala yung query nila.
Hindi na po yung sa EPA. Procedure po nun sa direct retail purchase. Kung hanggang saang document lang ang sa amin.
Sa Annex H po kasi nandun yung guidelines. Please use your mic po.
Nagkakaroon po kami ng resolution for the delegated authority kung sino yung mga personnel na pwede na mag-direct purchase. Ano, may background.
Pwede naman po yun. Pero whether or not do you need the back resolution to award? Kasi direct purchase na nga po siya. So what's your intern? Kasi wait lang po, check namin. Pero ako kasi, ang alam ko din, direct na siya. Direct na kayo bibigay. Basta meron kayong requirements, so you have undertaken the steps.
Delegate authority.
Can we confirm from our own bank? Kasi lagi na. Get information from my colleagues. Kasi direct purchase, literal direct purchase eh. But do you need the back resolution? Tama po ba? The question on direct purchase is under RA 9184, under the IRR po, no? Kasi yung alam ko po ay direct na eh. But whether or not you need a back resolution. I think. Okay. Ano daw po? Sige po. Can we just ano po, gawin natin, Ma'am Monique, let's just part this question first since this is related to the IRR of RE 9184. Then, kunin na lang natin details nila dito.
Ayan, sige po. Let us recognize the presence of our GPP-BTSO Executive Director Attorney Rowena Candes Ruiz. Thank you very much, ED, for joining us this afternoon. Tamang-tama po, no? Ayan. So, tulad po ng sabi ni Ms. Kat, no? Let's just park that question because we have, i-advertise ko na rin po, Ma'am Kat, no? We have procurement clinic for the procurement monitoring reports, training queries, and other legal consultations available today until Wednesday. So, kung hindi, yung mga question po and other queries na hindi po masagot, maybe we can raise them in our procurement clinics. Available po ang iba pa po nating mga handling officers to assist all of you. So,
Sige po, I heard that there are some questions that were not yet answered. So let me start with professionalization. Ano ba yung professionalization? There's going to be number one, mandatory positions. The positions will have qualification standards. Apart from qualification standards, we're going to have a competency framework. Ano ba sabihin ng competency framework? Over the years, we're only focusing on technical competencies. Ano yung technical? 9184, RA 12009. We also have to have the other competencies. So there are soft skills involved. So like for instance, this October, we're focusing on our professionalization calendar for the entire year. It has is somehow based on competency framework because we're including supply chain management, supply positioning, all that in the training course that we will be offering this October. So ano pong ibig sabihin nun? Yung pong competency framework na mabubuo natin, yun yung magbibigay ng framework or outline kung anong kakailanganin nating kakayanan meron ng isang procurement officer. Ang procurement officer po will range from admin, legal, and technical. So ang idea po namin is that for the mandatory positions, we will have mandatory positions for small, medium, and large agencies. And this will cover all aspects of procurement. So if you're asking, so wala na ba akong back to WGN Secretariat? Effectively po yung mga positions na yun, sila na po yung mag-handle ng TWG and Secretariat functions. So, eventually, mawawala na po yung may committee ka pa. Meron ka pang committee for market study, for market scoping, because what we will be creating are positions that would address those competencies required for procurement. Ang matitira na lang po na designation are the back members. And the reason for this is hindi po pwedeng forever and ever ang back members. Kailangan po may pagbabago yan. Kasi otherwise, familiarity breeds contempt. So, hindi po pwede nang masyadong sila na lang for the rest of their lives ang mga back members. So, that's the professionalization question. What's the other question? Kailangan ba ng back resolutions at direct sales? Wala pa pong IRR, so I couldn't tell you definitely, but in terms of our proposal, hindi po siya. Magkakaroon po ng delegation yan. The idea of direct sales, mali ako. Direct acquisition po. Sa direct acquisition po, it's really direct acquisition up to 200,000. The idea behind that is, pag bibili ako ng microwave ngayon, kailangan ko ng 3 quote. Kailangan ko magkuha ng 3 quotation, may mag-submit ng isa. Kung wala mag-submit, di ako makabili microwave. Ang liit-liit na amount. So, especially if you're able to couple this with the government purchase card, it's going to be a lot easier. No? Government purchase card, so kung meron kang credit card na nire-recognize ng POA, baka pwedeng talagang direct yung pag-acquire natin. For direct sales, it's very, very complicated. Personally, I have concerns about it because it's repeat order from other agency. I find it anti-competitive because all you have to do is one agency to procure, lahat na kayo. So we're gonna set a cap. The next challenge dun sa cap is, paano namin ma-monitor kung na-reach na yung cap? Kasi sabay-sabay naman kayo magpo-procure. So it's going to be very, very difficult. Kaya hindi rin po namin masasabi sa inyo how exactly it will be operationalized. What we're just addressing really is the internal control needed for us to be able to ensure hindi anti-competitive yung direct sales at mamamonitor natin. Kasi kung ang repeat order na may limit nilalo na yon. Because at the end of the day, the reason why we want really open competition is to ensure competitiveness of the procurement process, of the products, of the suppliers, because this will create headaches for us later on. Diba? Imagine mo kung isang agency nag-procure tapos problematic pala yun. So, lahat ng nakigaya, problematic na. So, yun po. Yun yung sagot doon. What other questions po kaya you have in mind? I'll try to answer as much as I can. At least what we have envisioned from the TSO side because the IR is still being developed. Oh, how to select most. Very, very good. You've understood already the fit for purpose approach in 12009. Ibig sabihin kung ngayon, we have by default public bidding. It's only in exceptional circumstances upon justification of the procuring entity that you can resort to alternative mode. Tinanggal natin yan, nagkaroon tayo ng paradigm shift. So why the paradigm shift? Because we need to be able to make sure that equal footing ang lahat ng modalities. Now, your question is very good. How do we know? It's up to you. Kaya po siya fit for purpose. Kayo ang magde-decide, public bidding ba yung para sa akin? Allowed naman ako small value, pero gusto ko public bidding Up to you. You have to make that decision based on what? Based on past experiences, based on the specifications of your project, based on the market. Kaya po part ng ating requirement under 12009 is mandatory market scoping. Ang market scoping, hindi lang po siya quotations. Okay? Market scoping really includes, number 1, understanding para saan ba yung produkto na available sa merkado. Ano ba yung mga produktong available sa merkado? So I'll give an example. Starlink is internet option. Have you heard of it? Now, would you go for Starlink or would you go with traditional internet subscription? Market scoping would answer that. How? Because market scoping would tell you, saan ba available si Starlink? Lahat naman. Available naman siya. No limit as to region. Pero saan ba siya mas okay gumana? Diba? We should know, for those who are familiar, you should know that it's not really advisable for highly urbanized area kasi maraming buildings. It uses satellite technology. So kung wala siyang masagap na satellite, it will not work. Saan siya nag-work? Nag-work siya sa area na mas malawak, open space, mga bundok. So it then tells you, so possible ba sa ahensya ko, dalawang approach ko? Yes. Because for those that cannot be reached or hindi maganda yung reception ng traditional internet subscription, I might want to choose Starlink. Bakit? Because it's a better approach for me. So, hindi siya pwedeng sabihing splitting because you had your market scoping. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihing, mahal naman, pinili mo si Starlink. Bakit yun? Because you undertook your market scoping. Yun po yung gusto ko rin ma-emphasize in the new law. Market scoping is really critical. That's why we made it mandatory. Most of the questions, most of the issues come bidding and implementation really can be sourced from the lack or improper market scoping. No? Copy-paste, copy-paste, kopya-kopya sa internet, kopya-kopya sa ibang agency without understanding the market condition, without understanding your requirements. I always say, yung pwede kay Pedro, hindi necessarily okay kay Juan. So you need to understand your actual need. Kaya I really have some reservations with direct sales. Kasi it's really basically copy-copy what another agency has procured. Okay po? Oh, grant of honoraria. Source of funds, we have to wait for PM to issue that. But during the discussion po, personally ako, I'm open to, my proposal since 2019 has been to include this in the personal services because it's not really a lot. The rate has not been increased since 20 years ago, and we have been requesting DBM2, and it's a good opportunity in the new law for DBM to reissue that. The law also increased the cap to 30%. But to be honest, when we transition, you don't talk about honoraria. Why? It's only for back na lang. Why? So you have your permanent plantilla positions already. Now you'll be talking about overtime pay. No more honoraria, di ba? So, unless you are still ad hoc designated, that's only when you talk about honoraria. And again, this is really why we're pushing for professionalization because we don't want to be dependent on funding sources to pay for honoraria. We don't want to be depending on being designated. Once again, we need to make sure that we have institutionalized procurement officers in the Philippines. I always say, if we're saying procurement is important, we should, diba? We should put our money where our mouth is. We should create procurement positions. It should be competency-based because kung walang competency framework, I bet you, panay admin positions ang i-create. Like right now, admins 1 to 5. Pero alam natin, hindi enough yung admin positions. Diba? Kailangan mo ng ekonomista, kailangan mo inhenyero, kailangan mo ng abogado. Kasi yan yung aspeto ng procurement. Very, very dynamic and diverse ang procurement. Hindi lang isang bagay ay procure mo forever and ever. Kahit hindi ka nagko-consultancy at some point, kakailanganin mong gumawa ng feasibility study. Paano pala gumawa nun? Diba? And that's why also, speaking of that, that's why also we have expanded framework agreement to include also consulting and infra. Others might ask, paano ka ba mag-framework sa consulting? You know, NEDA and PIDS can very well take advantage of this. So, imbis na procure ng consulting firm for every study, may framework agreement ka na lang. Tapos, kung magaling talaga yung firm mo, aral na lang sila ng aral ng mga research na kailangan mong gawin. So, for those heavy on research and advisory na trabaho, that could actually help us. And that is why framework agreement, put procurement, and all the other tools are included as part of strategic procurement planning. Kasi ito po dapat iniisip nyo pag kayo nag-design kayo ng project. Hindi yung after the fact. Kapag may failure na, kapag kami nag-suggest later on. Okay po? Okay na po? So, we still have time for open forum. Sino? Ay, host.
Alright. So, meron pa po yata si ma'am?
Nabanggit nyo kanina. Kung
Sorry.
tama lang po yung pagkakaintindi ko, pagka po nagkaroon na ng procurement section po talaga yung agency, madidissolve na po yung mga TWG.
Well, it's designation, so wala naman pong dissolution doon.
Apa,
Physically lang po.
yung sa committee pa, apa.
Oo, mangyayari na lang po is imbes na ad hoc, you will now have a permanent plantilla position in your office. And in fact, to be fair, there are offices with that already. Di po ba?
Like us po.
Only that it's not enough because it is based on a request. You have to justify to DPM that you need to create an office. And currently, they're limited to the current rules for creating an office. You can order create a unit, an office, or a bureau, or a service or bureau. Kami po, ang balak namin is with the competency framework comes the mandatory positions required for each agency, again, coming from a very basic lang pong small, medium, large concept. So, tsaka natin hihimayin later on. So, kung meron na po kayo, it would not necessarily be dissolved. What most probably be is that we're going to consult with DBM how to transition. No? How to transition. Kaya po, pansinin nyo, as early as last year, we launched the Pro Hub because we really want you to register kasi we need your profile. Your profile will tell us will provide the gap analysis. Anong kulang? Because if you're an existing procurement officer, whether by designation or because you already have a position, we will train you and capacitate you towards the competency framework so that ideally by 2028, we're ready for licensing. Kasi may licensing requirement na rin po tayo sa bagong batas. PRC po yun in coordination with the GPPP. So yun po yung mangyayari. Kaya I highly suggest you register sa aming hub para po we can already identify saan po namin kayo dapat i-train. And our training from 2025 onwards will focus on their kailangan po mag-register na kayo. Kasi otherwise, mapaghuhulihan po kayo. Kung seryoso po kayo sa procurement career ninyo, do it. And also because apart from what's in the law, we really have very ambitious plans for our procurement officers. Now, we're looking into ASEAN level recognition, ASEAN procurement officers. So I've been talking to our counterparts in Thailand and Indonesia. We're also looking into you becoming also our trainer, depending on your capacity and your ability to pass our very rigorous recruitment process. And eventually po, we may be able to implement an arbitrator, pooling of arbitrators for the purpose of eventually you can be elected to become an arbitrator before a case goes to court. Something like that. Wala pa po yan. Don't expect that in the next 3 or 5 years. Kasi we really want to be able to professionalize first all our procurers and procurement officers, and then eventually we can ambition further to really expand and really upscale our profession as procurement officers in the Philippines. Okay pa? The procurement specialist course is just one of the, so she asked if it's going to be mandatory. It's just one of the many ways that you can earn your competency. So this is how it would work. We just had a workshop, Ren, with partners just last week. And we are in the process of revising all the modules. The modules will now focus on the competency framework. And then for every training po na kukunin ninyo, na recognize namin, meron po kayong credit. And you have to earn your credit not based on the hours of training, but based on the competency credit required for your position. Okay? For your position. So whether you want to do it through PPSCC, the procurement specialist course, whether you want to do it through our in-house training, whether you want to do it through our private HAZE partners, kasi meron na rin po kaming private HAZE na partners,
Whether you want to do it through our private orgs, meron na rin po kaming private orgs partners which committed next year, di ba rin, they will be offering already similar procurement specialist courses. Lahat po yan credited depending on your procurement position. So, syempre, kung supply officer ka, hindi naman po pwedeng wala kang supply officer training. Diba? So, kailangan makuha mo yon. And you have various platforms to get it. Eventually po, we will start launching our e-learning platform. So, modularity po yung concept. Gusto mo matuto ng early procurement, yun muna yung kukunin nyo. So, you may want to register with us, tapos parang napipili ka ng credits mo. Pili ka ng mga credits na gusto mo. Tapos, dapat nasa hub ka. Kasi dun sa hub, papakita sa'yo, oh, you need this much credits for this. Ano yung mga compliant courses. So at least, talagang curated for your requirement. Kasi po, hindi po pwedeng ang training natin one size fits all. Because iba-iba po yung role natin sa procurement. And para po kayo ma-professionalize, kailangan yung training nyo align sa trabaho ninyo. Hindi naman po pwedeng aral lang kayo ng aral ng technicalities ng RA 12009, pero wala talaga kayong alam how to create a bidding document, how to identify technical specifications, how to do proper market scoping, how to undertake life cycle costing. Those are really the competencies that we want you to be able to acquire to be truly professional in your specific field. Okay? Ano pa pa? Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm 𝗟𝗲𝗃𝗏𝗃 from Procurement Unit of DepEd Regional Office 2. Ma'am, actually in our agency, we're really hard in acquiring market surveys from prospective bidders. For example, in our procurement of modules, which is madalas talaga, kahit nakapag-float na kami sa mga, let's say, 10 or 15 na mga prospective bidders, walang response. It ends up na ang gagamitin namin sa market scoping ay yung presyo ng mga local printers. And then, ang ending niya, kung i-evaluate namin yung market analysis, syempre hindi na competitive yung ABC kasi hindi na incorporate doon yung presyo ng transportation fee. So, meron po ba kayong vision na kung meron tayong PBD builders na tutulong sa amin na gumawa ng mga bidding documents, meron din po kaya later in the future mga siguro merchants portal kung saan ilalagay po nila doon yung mga products available sa mga suppliers so that kung i-upload namin yung market survey namin, may magre-respond. Kung papaanong pag mag-upload tayo ng invitation to bid, may magre-respond. Parang ganun po para at least nationwide na alam nila na ang DepEd Region 2 nagma-market study ng per page ng module, mag-respond tayo so that later, kung mag-open ang invitation to bid, alam natin, may prepare tayo pa.
Yeah, very good question po. Very quickly, in fact, what we have been recommending for PhilJEPs, kasi po PhilJEPs is a different kami po yung policy. What we have recommended for PhilJEPs is, even for small value, you do it electronic. So all you have to do is request for quotation through the PhilJEPs, and kung sino yung mag-respond, the system will compute the lowest. So you don't even have to go through all of those quotation. At least for now, to address the question, the challenge really is because we're doing procurement very transactional. Na ibig sabihin nun, pag may procurement siya tayo papaquotation. The reason why I mentioned market scoping isn't just quotation. Market scoping means look at your past 3 to 5 years data. You have to look for patterns. Because there are patterns in the market. Tumataas ba siya? Fluctuating ba siya? Diba? Volatile ba siya? Why? Because often there are standard factors in any product in the market. Crudo, inflation, importation costs, regulatory fees, etc. Those are the things, especially for big ticket projects, that kailangan yung himayin. And that's part of market sounding.
if you have a system, and this is what we have been proposing as well, yung po siguro yung sinasabi ni ma'am, that we should have, in fact, this could be also for big agencies at an agency level, a suppliers directory and suppliers information system. Some agencies already have this. Ano po yung idea nun? Basically, you don't just ask quotations when you need it. You have this list of suppliers that you readily and regularly engage with. Through what? Regular supplier conference. So meet with them on an annual basis. Tell them your annual procurement plan ahead of time. So that's one way to prime the market. So as early as the year before, ay, magpo-procure pala si DepEd ng ganito sa ganitong buwan nila kailangan. Alam na niya, so nire-ready rin niya yung kanyang sarili. The system should also provide you idea on how you've procured before. Sino yung mga sumali before? Okay, and in the past. So that you don't just send quotations from the list that you have at the time and then wait for them. You can, as early as a supplier conference, be asking information. And again, as I mentioned before, don't rely on just the information that they will give. Bakit? Pwedeng they won't give you the right kind of information. But if you have data, historical data, that's why monitoring is critical. No? If you have the supplier data and if you have a system, it could readily compute to you some trend. Nadali na pong gumamit ngayon ng AI. Diba? The AI might even suggest to you, baka ang magandang ABC would be this. And then that's how you just have to be able to vet it. But yes, ma'am, we do have those mechanisms in place. But remember, AI, automation, this will not supplant for what? Your decision making. This will just help you come up with the right decision. Pero don't expect these tools to make the decision for you. Okay? Kayo pa rin po, base dun sa mga pinrovide ng system, ng data, ang magde-decide alin sa mga datos ang tama for now, ang i-consider ko, ang mas i-consider ko, ang hindi ko na i-consider because the situation is different. So which means kailangan po talagang matuto tayo on how to do strategic procurement. We have the tools in place, yes, but the tools will only help in terms of efficiency, in terms of risk management. Kasi, di ba, it provides you a lot of options already, systematically and mabilis. Pero at the end of the day, kayo po ang magde-decide. And you should also be ready to make that decision. Kaya po, wag natin kakalimutan yan. Okay? But thank you for the question po. Anything else?
Any more questions po?
Baka may
Pahabol?
raffle pa. Para
Wala na
makaraffle
po.
tayo.
Ayan,
Kung
so,
nahiya po kayong magtanong, we have the procurement clinics and I don't know if nabanggit na po sa inyo for the, more simple questions, not necessarily NGPA. We do have our 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗏 chatbot that uses AI, generative AI, as I mentioned earlier, sa plenary. I really highly suggest you ask questions kasi it will help Billy become more smart and intelligent in answering questions because the more you ask him, the more that he's trained and the more information that he's able to also process in the, in answering your question. Okay? So, Monique?
yan, wala na pong habol. I will be closing na po our open forum floor. Ayan, so I guess that's it. Thank you very much, everyone. And of course, thank you very much to our very own GPPBTSO Executive Director, Attorney Rowena Candes-Ruiz. I would also like to thank, of course, our resource speaker, Attorney Farhan Jumdaim, and of course, Miss Regina Maria Nina Ruiz. At lastly po, yung ating IRR team, thank you very much for accommodating our participants. Ayan, again po, I would like to reiterate lang po na to visit, please check out our NGPA microsite at ngpa.gppb.gov.ph. And also, last August this year po, we also launched our POP or Procurement Observers Portal. So kung meron man po kayong friends and colleagues from the civil society organization, please share the word. Talaga pong makakatulong din po ito sa inyo at sa kanila. And of course, yung atin pong Bili Bayong chatbot, you can check Bili Bayong sa amin pong website, official website. That's www.gppb.gov.ph. Alright? So I think that ends our breakout session for today. We thank you very much po. No? But before we let you go, ayan. Yeah, before we let you go po, we would like to invite you po and take this time to visit our Sustaindahan and Innovation Showcase. Meron din pong nagtatanong para po sa ating procurement clinic, saan po located ito. Yung atin pong training queries and monitoring reports consultation office is located when you exit this venue. Located po siya sa left side wing of this floor, sa 5th floor, dito I think po, makikita nyo po agad. And then when you exit, just across, yung PhilJEP's consultation desk naman po natin located there. And for other legal queries, located naman po sila sa ground floor, sa lobby. Alright? So thank you very much po. And again, please do check out our NGPA microsite because now, more than ever, we need you po, no? With the impending and forthcoming IRR, we need you. We need your recommendations. And so again, thank you all very much and thank you for making today happen. Magandang hapon po at ingat po tayong lahat.
Thank you.